Hello everyone and welcome back to the Great Book of Grudges. My name is Nathan and it seems some rather interesting news dropped last night and has been further confirmed today. There's a lot to talk about, so yeah, let's jump right in. So, Henry Cavill is apparently poised to take up a role within a Warhammer 40,000 series. And this is a good thing because obviously we know that Henry is a massive Warhammer fan. And let's be honest, the guy's had his fair share of bad luck lately with the whole Superman Witcher situation, right? And let's be very, very honest here. You know, everyone in the Warhammer community has been asking for Henry Cavill to be the star of a show or a film because it makes sense. He is someone who has been taking Warhammer to the mainstream and is making Warhammer look less cringe. Yes, it's still a little cringe, let's be very honest here, but this is a good thing. This is honestly a very good thing. Now, there's a little bit of fear considering that Amazon is involved. And yeah, a lot of people are a little bit scared of that because of the whole Rings of Power situation where just loads and loads of lore was changed by the showrunners and all that type of stuff. Though keep in mind that Amazon has produced some good shows, but I'm going to give you a reason not to be scared. Games Workshop are so incredibly anal about things that, yeah, they're not going to allow major law changes and stuff. I've worked with companies directly regarding Warhammer games. Well, you know, this is why I cover a lot of Warhammer games on my channel, and I've spoken to people about their relationship with Games Workshop, and they've said Games Workshop are very, very hands-on, which is nice because a few years ago they weren't, and that's why we had such atrocities like Dawn of War 3. Put it this way, we know from example, and this was confirmed publicly by Games Workshop, that a bunch of stuff had to be approved for the endgame scenarios for Total War Warhammer 3. It's literally just a Doomstack event. Nothing that changes lore or anything, it just had to be actually just approved by Games Workshop before it could be done in, so them being so anal about it is going to lead to, well, quite a good things, let's be honest, as long as, you know, some people who are working in the law department are also involved with the show, which I'm assuming should be the case. And further to add to the news, this morning we had some official news on the official Games Workshop investor page, which goes as follows. Games Workshop is pleased to announce that it has reached an agreement in principle with Amazon Content Services LLC, a subsidiary of Amazon.com Incorporated, for Amazon to develop Games Workshop's intellectual property into film and television productions, and for Games Workshop to grant associated merchandising rights. So, film and television, it's not just television. This could be pretty interesting. Let's carry on reading. In advance of contracts being entered to, Amazon will be commencing certain development activities, such as holding preliminary discussions with writers in order to facilitate the project. It is intended that the rights will initially be granted to develop the Warhammer 40,000 universe, so it's only 40k at the very beginning. Okay, fair. Whilst the parties have reached agreement on material commercial terms, the project is wholly dependent on and subject to contracts being agreed and entered to, which the parties are working towards. The company makes no change to its forecast for the period ended May 2023. A further announcement will be made in due course. So, let's just break this down because I know some people would be like, what does all this mean? So, Amazon has got the rights. It's been outright confirmed. It's just they haven't confirmed exactly what is happening. We know 40k is the main focus right now, which makes a lot of sense considering that Warhammer 40,000 is the strongest area for the Warhammer settings, because Age of Sigmar is doing well, but it needs to flesh out its lore a little bit. Warhammer Fantasy is right now gone. You never know in the future with Warhammer the Old World if that makes a re-emergence. 40k being specifically mentioned there means likely no 30k, but they are linked together, so maybe a Horus Heresy film or TV show in the future would be kind of cool. So, the parties have agreed, but nothing's been done. Essentially what this means is, yeah, you've got it, now you have to pitch us the ideas. This is where the writers will start being able to sit down and just say, okay, we want to write a series focused on, well, Eisenhorn, to be honest, I think, because didn't they announce that like 4 years ago and nothing's actually happened? So yeah, the Eisenhorn series, which would be freaking great. Like, the books are amazing. If you haven't read them, you should. Maybe something focused around Space Marines, because that kind of makes sense for a film or something. Or, you know, pretty much anything, considering that, well, you know, it's 40k, right? 35 years of lore, there's so much there. They could do stuff set on a planet, set in a sector, they could focus around a war, you know, Badab or whatever. There's so much. I'm actually really, really excited about this. And despite the fact that, yes, there have been some issues with, say, Rings of Power, where a lot of weird lore has changed. If you haven't seen it, they've done stuff like moving the founding of Mordor to the Second Age, which was absolutely bizarre to me. Some of the casting in Rings of Power was okay. Like, for example, the woman who plays Disa, the dwarf princess, absolutely tremendously good actress. Love her. And yeah, you know, Amazon has actually got some decent series like The Boys and stuff. And like I said, Games Workshop are tremendously anal about things. They're going to be very, very hands-on. And yes, Games Workshop themselves do get their own lore wrong, which is actually kind of hilarious. But this is going to be a good thing for the hobby overall. This is going to help Warhammer get a little bit more mainstream. Yes, it's already becoming very, very mainstream, but, you know, more money for Games Workshop means hopefully more support for different things. We're getting a lot of really cool stuff lately. If Warhammer jumps a lot more into the mainstream, a big actor like Henry Cavill would do this, clearly. And the fact that we're starting to get better Warhammer video games, just in general, Warhammer is becoming a lot more popular. This is just going to be absolutely amazing. We're going to see, hopefully, knock on wood, you know, a little bit of a golden age. Something that we've been waiting for, and it looks like we're getting closer and closer to. This is good for the hobby overall. It's a bit of a shame that it's only 40k right now, I must admit. I would love to see something for Age of Sigmar to get some attention, because, you know, Redheaded Stepchild. You know, something set in Necromunda too, which is, I guess, 40k IP too, but it's kind of usually separated. 30k, maybe Warhammer the Old World. There's a lot of potential if the stuff does well at the beginning. Keep in mind that it has to be like a first wave. Hell, you never know, maybe a Warhammer Cinematic Universe would be nice. Seeing as the whole DC Cinematic Universe is essentially cannibalizing itself, you know, I don't know. I'm kind of excited. I'm really, really excited, actually. Without getting too much into it, the prospect of a Warhammer Cinematic Universe is absolutely amazing. It's obviously very early days at the moment, but we could have a lot of things showing up, and I'm really, really excited about the idea. I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, these things are going to take some time, because the writers right now are just writing up ideas to pitch, so at this point, I wouldn't expect anything for at least a year for a proper announcement about a show being developed actively, or casting calls even happening and stuff. And then maybe another year, so 2024 is when we could potentially see something. In some cases, some studios are quite fast. Rings of Power took an absolute age. I think The Boys did kind of too, but that's obviously because, you know, there was a situation with the world stopping for a while. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Let's start a bit of a discussion, because, yeah, I'm kind of hyped up. I'm honestly kind of hyped up. This is surprising, but a good surprising.